Welcome back. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. My pleasure to have here with us here today, Carey Hart. Now, you've seen the phenomenal backflip in 2002 in the X Games, and you also seen him on Inked. It's A&E's show. Fantastic. Coming up into its second season, Carey Hart with us here today. Carey, welcome to Traders Nation. How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. Thanks. All right, Carey, let's talk about this. This is a great book. 42 people, 42 stories. Fantastic artwork. I tell you what, it's like canvases, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, it is. I mean, it's amazing how far tattoo artwork has come in the last 15 years. I mean, the book really shows just how much the artists are pushing the limits of tattooing. Yeah.
What kind of expression of tattoos do you mostly see wanted by people? I mean, they all tell their own story, right? But what are we seeing in way of expressions? Is there a certain trend in certain areas in certain periods of time? What would it be?
I mean, the trends are definitely changing and evolving. I mean, you kind of see phases and waves coming. For a long time, it was like a lot of the Japanese symbols, like all the kanji stuff.
Sure.
Now you're starting to see like a really big push in like semi-traditional influence, like big bold line, heavy color stuff.
Sure. All right. So a lot of Japanese, and that's where I see it. I see a lot of the Japanese stuff coming out. All right. So again, ink is the ultimate expression for a person. So you see these trends, and where do you see them going? Do you see more full body? Do you see sleeves? What are we looking at?
I mean, it just really kind of depends on the person. I mean, I think you're always going to have kind of like that clientele who just wants one or two small pieces, which is great. I mean, it's self-expression, and it's you don't have to have a full body tattoo to be influenced by tattoo artwork. And I think also more so now is like you're starting to see so much of tattoo culture and lifestyle in clothing now. Which is always great because that's just going to help kind of prolong the whole cycle of tattooing. And and this is one of those phases I don't think that you see go away. It's not like piercing or clothing or some sort of fashion sense. I mean,
sure.
Tattoos don't go away. So and most people, anyone I've ever met who's ever gotten a tattoo, I've yet to meet one that says, "Oh, that was a horrible experience. I never want to do it again." They're
right.
Like, all right, great. What am I going to get next?
Right. Well, that's interesting you say that because now I think you're absolutely right. I think you've expanded into merchandising. You've got 4 stores now, I believe.
Yeah, we have 4 stores. With about 4 more coming up this year.
Yeah.
And we have a very successful clothing line called Hart Huntington Clothing.
Right.
And yeah, just kind of pushing the limits.
Nice. That's absolutely fantastic. All right, so then you've got the merchandising that comes with that. So this is the whole genre as far as the tattoos are concerned, and it's attitude. That's what it comes down to, isn't it? Attitude.
I mean, it is. I mean, it's attitude. It's self-expression. I mean, it's a way for people to pay tribute to a family or a friend. I mean, when I look at my body, it's like I don't look at myself as like what my favorite tattoo is. I look
right.
at myself as like a yearbook. Like, I remember where I was mentally and physically and what was going on in my life when I got my left sleeve.
Right. Wow, that's interesting. All right, so now, let's talk about yourself. You've got a lot. You've got some tats, some great tats too, from what I've seen in the book. And which one means the most to you?
It's kind of hard to say. I mean, I have a lot of tattoos that are based around my family.
Yeah.
I had one. I got one done on the back of my neck when my dad got cancer, and luckily enough, he kicked it. But
right.
I did a commemorative tattoo for him, and now this winter, when after the weather cools down, I'm going to do one for my brother who just passed. So it's like I like to kind of reflect important times in my life through the artwork on my body.
Right. Now, isn't that important when somebody decides that they're going to get a tat, when they're going to get inked? It really is an important part of their life. It's almost like writing it down in a journal, but that journal is the body and a self-expression of that. And these are things in a person's life that they don't really that they want to remember for the rest of their lives because obviously it's going to stay with them once they're inked. So that's pretty important, isn't it?
I mean, I think it is. I mean, I think there's no better way than to show the support of someone through getting a commemorative tattoo of them. Every day I'm reminded every time I see the one I've done for my grandfather and the one I've done for my dad and the tattoos I've done for my ex-wife. It's like every day I look at them, I still think about those people.
It's the ultimate honor, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
All right. What kind of process are we looking at from somebody comes into one of your shops? They come in. What kind of process are we looking at from a conceptual idea to sitting down, getting inked?
I mean, it's the great thing about our shop is, I mean, we do strictly walk-ins.
Yeah.
So I mean, from the time you walk in, we'll schedule it at a time, hopefully that day to sit down, and you can sit down and consult with a tattoo artist, come through some books just for some specific reference material if you haven't brought any in yourself.
Right.
And really kind of just go to work.
Right. Nice. Now, when somebody walks into your shop, do they usually always have a good idea what they're looking for? Can you tell the difference? For instance, they don't have a tat, but they're not quite sure. They really don't have the concept of getting inked, versus somebody that, you know what, they walk in and they know exactly what they want, and they try to convey that to your artist. So there's a difference, isn't there?
I mean, there definitely is. I mean, there's some people who walk in and have no idea what they want, and there's some people who come in, they know exactly what they want.
Right. So
and there's nothing wrong with not knowing what you want. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you help them through that, though, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the whole idea. It's like you sit down, you kind of consult with a tattoo artist, you figure out which direction you want to go.
Sure.
Have him draw something up and roll from there.
What would you say? What does this tat mean to you? I mean, what are you trying to accomplish, or what does it mean, right?
I mean, for me, yeah, exactly. I mean, for me specifically, it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I mean, there are times where, I just want to just get like a cool picture, a cool idea that I've been thinking about for a while. And then there's other times where I want it to be a little bit more meaningful, and it might be, it might be dedicated to someone I know, or a friend or family, or even my hometown.
All right. You've got 42 people throughout Inked. Fantastic book. In fact, we're going to give out information how you can get a copy of Inked. So you got 42 people throughout Inked. What walk of life do you see mostly coming to your shop? From brokers to dealers to what? Mechanics to you have it, everything in between, Carey?
I mean, we have anything and everything. I mean, from housewives to businessmen to doctors to bikers to club people. I mean, you mentioned it, and I'm sure we've had them come through our tattoo shop.
A to Z, right?
Yep.
A to Z. Nothing surprises you?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
What would be probably the most outrageous tattoo you've seen or you've done?
You know what? It's kind of hard to say. I mean, I think probably the one that stands out the most, not that it's outrageous, but, one of our first consistent clients when we first opened was a 79-year-old slot player who never had a tattoo in her life.
Yeah.
Came in her little electric wheelchair, and she's come in 6 or 7 times since, and she got one tattoo on her hand, a portrait of her cat on her arm.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to see that she got into it that late in the game, but she loves getting tattoos.
Sure. I mean, doesn't that show the spirit, though? I mean, isn't that...
Oh, it definitely does.
That's what it boils down to, is spirit and attitude. At any age, Carey.
Exactly.
All right, fantastic. Now, you've got the second season of Ink coming up. How's that going along?
Well, we're done with Ink, but we are going to start taping our new TV show, which is called Hart Luck Life, which we start taping in just after the first of the year.
Nice. When are we going to start seeing that?
Probably next summertime.
Next summertime? And is that going to be on A&E?
It will not be back on A&E.
Okay. No. All right, so just keep our eyes and ears open.
Yeah, definitely. You'll hear about it. You won't miss it.
All right, fantastic. Folks, we've got Carey Hart with us here today, and book is Inked. 42 people, 42 stories, of course, and you can get it where at, Carey?
The book, you can get it any major bookstore, Amazon.com.
Yeah.
Anywhere you can go.
Barnes & Noble?
Barnes & Noble, yes.
Yeah. Hey, real quick.
Orders, all that good stuff.
All right. Everybody get a copy today. Ink Carey Hart, folks, is here with us here today. One last question. When you did that backflip, okay, I don't know about you, Carey, but I would have probably had to clean my shorts out. How did it feel? Obviously, fantastic.
I mean, it was amazing to be alive at that point because it was a pretty risky move to pull. But
it was.
After the fact, I actually broke a couple vertebrae in my back when I did it. So
did you really?
The next day I wasn't feeling so good, but at the time I couldn't have been happier.
All right. So that was on the landing?
Yeah. I just landed super, super hard, kind of in the back seat, and just compressed my back pretty good.
Right. Yeah. It looked like it, but you were able to maintain the cycle. You kept it up.
Yeah, fortunately enough, I did.
All right, good enough. Carey Hart, folks. Carey, thanks for being with us here today. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks a lot.
You're more than welcome. Carey Hart, folks. Inked is the name of the book. 42 people, 42 stories. Get a copy today. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, you name it, wherever fine books are sold, Carey Hart. Okay? Appreciate it.